Please, don't make me undress, she begged, but the cold millionaire had no choice. Hey everyone, before we dive into today's story, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying these emotional journeys we share, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it truly helps us keep bringing you stories like this one. Also, drop a comment below and tell us, where are you watching from today? Your city, your country, we'd love to know. Thank you so much for being here. Please, don't make me undress, she begged, her voice breaking in the sterile cold of the emergency room. But Marcus Vale, the billionaire surgeon who owned the hospital, had already made his choice, and walking away would mean watching her die. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, too bright for 2 a.m., too sharp for the way her body was shutting down. Sophia Reed's fingers were pale, bloodless, gripping the thin hospital gown across her chest as if fabric alone could protect her from something far deeper than cold. Marcus stood 3 feet away, surgical gloves still on, his jaw tight. He'd spent 15 years building walls between himself and moments like this, 15 years of calculated distance, of treating bodies instead of people, of never allowing emotion to cloud judgment. But her eyes, terrified, pleading, knowing. "Your core temperature is 89 degrees, he said, his voice steady, clinical. Wet clothes will kill you faster than the hypothermia already will. Please, the word came out as barely a whisper, her teeth chattering so hard she could barely speak. I can't do this. The heart monitor beeped slower, too slow. Hello, everyone. Before we continue, I have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying these emotional journeys we share, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it truly helps us keep bringing you stories like this one. Also, drop a comment below and tell us, where are you watching from today? Your city, your country? We'd love to know. Thank you so much for being here. Marcus turned his head away, signaling the nurse to step back. I will not look at you, he said quietly, but I will not let you die. 12 hours earlier, Marcus had been in a board meeting listening to his half-brother Victor argue that emergency response times in District 7 were acceptable losses within operational parameters. They're human beings, not data points, Marcus had said. Victor had smiled, cold and precise. Sentiment doesn't build hospitals, brother. Money does. Now Marcus understood exactly what those acceptable losses looked like up close. Sophia Reed, 26 years old, found unconscious in an alley 6 blocks from the hospital. 6 blocks that should have taken 4 minutes. Instead, it took 23. Behind him, fabric rustled. Dr. Reyes spoke in Spanish, soft, maternal, safe. Marcus kept his eyes on the monitors. 88.7 degrees, dropping. Warming blankets applied, Dr. Reyes reported. Starting warm saline. 88.5 degrees. She's losing consciousness. Marcus crossed to the bedside and sat where Sophia could see only his face. Sophia, he said firmly, stay with me. Keep your eyes on mine. Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused. Cold, she whispered. I know, we're fixing that. You're going to make it. Promise? The word hit him harder than it should have. Yes, Marcus said, I promise. Sophia's hand reached toward him. Marcus looked at Dr. Reyes, who nodded. He took Sophia's hand. Her fingers were ice against his palm. You're safe. Right here, right now, you are safe. The monitor beeped steadily, then faster, then normal. 88.9 degrees, rising. 2 hours later, her temperature stabilized. She slept, finally. Marcus sat beside her bed, still holding her hand. Dr. Reyes approached. You stayed. She asked me to promise, Marcus said. And you don't break promises? Not anymore. When Sophia's eyes opened hours later, she whispered, You kept your promise. Always do. Who are you? In this room, he wasn't the billionaire who owned Cross Medical Group. He was just a man who'd chosen to stay. Marcus, he said simply, and you're going to be fine. After she fell back asleep, Marcus stood at the window. Somewhere out there, other people were waiting for ambulances that would arrive too late. His phone buzzed. Victor, board wants your decision on District 7 budget cuts by morning. Time to be practical, brother. Marcus deleted the message and made a call. This is Dr. Vale. I need a full audit of District 7 emergency response protocols. Every dispatch record for the last 6 months. Every delay, every reroute, every minute that should have been seconds. Something had shifted tonight. He'd felt it the moment Sophia's hand reached for his, the moment he'd chosen presence over protocol. For 15 years, he'd built walls to protect himself. Tonight, those walls had cracked. Sophia woke to sunlight and a nurse checking her vitals. "Welcome back," the nurse said. "I'm Claire. How are you feeling?" "Warm," Sophia said, and the word felt like a victory. "Dr. Vale will be by shortly." After Claire left, Sophia sat up slowly. Everything ached, but distantly. She looked at her hands, clean, warm, alive. She remembered fragments, the cold, the bright lights, the man with gray eyes who'd promised she'd be safe. A knock interrupted her thoughts. Marcus entered in surgical scrubs, tablet in hand. In daylight, he looked younger, maybe late 30s, with a face built for control, but holding something softer underneath. "Miss Reed, how are you feeling?" "Better, thanks to you." He checked the tablet. "Your recovery is progressing well. If everything stays stable, you can be discharged tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" Sophia blinked. "That's it?" "The hypothermia didn't cause lasting damage." 23 minutes, Sophia said quietly. Marcus looked up sharply. "What?" "The paramedic told me. It should have taken 4 minutes. It took 23. She met his eyes. "I wasn't fortunate. I was nearly killed by paperwork." Something flickered across his face. "That's being investigated," he said carefully. "By who?" "By me." Sophia studied him. "You're not just a surgeon, are you?" Marcus set down the tablet. "I'm the chief medical officer. I've been reviewing every emergency case for the past month because I've been noticing patterns, delays that shouldn't exist." "Why?" "Because someone is deliberately sabotaging our emergency response system." The words hung heavy. "But why?" "I don't know yet, but I will find out." He sat in the same chair from the night before. 3 weeks ago, a woman in District 7 had a stroke. The ambulance took 17 minutes. She survived with permanent brain damage. 2 weeks before that, a child with allergies waited 19 minutes. He didn't make it. Sophia's chest tightened. They're connected? Every case follows the same pattern. Someone with high-level access modified the protocols, adding approval layers. It looks like operational inefficiency. Unless you're looking for it. Exactly. What happens now? Now I prove it, document everything, take it to the board. And they'll listen? Marcus's expression darkened. Some of them will. If you need someone to testify about what 23 minutes feels like, I'm available. Marcus looked at her with something like respect. I'll keep that in mind. He stood. Rest today. "Dr. Vale," Sophia called as he reached the door. He turned. "Thank you for seeing me." Marcus held her gaze longer than necessary. "You're welcome," he said quietly. Sophia was discharged the next morning. Claire pressed a card into her hand. "Dr. Vale asked me to give you this." Matte black with silver text. Marcus Vale, M.D., Chief Medical Officer. A phone number in pen on the back. If needed. That evening, Sophia searched for Marcus Vale online. Billionaire surgeon builds medical empire. Cross Medical Group expands to 10 facilities. She clicked through articles. Marcus at ceremonies, accepting awards, standing beside a man with crueler eyes, Victor Vale, CFO of Cross Medical Group. Buried in a trade journal from 8 months ago. Cross Medical under investigation for response time irregularities in low-income districts. Investigation dropped. Insufficient evidence. Someone was sabotaging emergency response. Someone with access. Someone who benefited from cutting costs. Victor Vale's cold eyes. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Miss Reed, this is Marcus Vale. I wanted to ask, do you have plans tomorrow afternoon? Plans? I'm reviewing the audit findings. I think you should see it, not as a patient, but as someone who lived through what the data represents. What time? 2 o'clock. I'll send a car. I can take the bus. Sophia. The use of her first name stopped her. Please. There was respect in his voice, acknowledgement that she'd earned the right to know. Okay, 2 o'clock. The black car arrived precisely at 2, delivering Sophia to Cross Medical Group headquarters in the financial district. Marcus met her in the lobby, now in a suit instead of scrubs. Thank you for coming. He led her to a conference room on the top floor. Spread across the table were laptops, printouts, charts. This is 6 months of emergency calls in District 7. Sophia scanned the documents, response times, dispatch records, patient outcomes. Average response time before this year, 5 minutes, Marcus said. Now, 18 minutes. Response times have tripled. How? Marcus pulled up code on a screen. Someone modified the dispatch software, added verification protocols requiring supervisory approval. Every approval adds 3 to 5 minutes. Who? Only 5 people have administrative access. He paused. I'm one. My brother Victor is another. Sophia looked at him sharply. You think your brother did this? Victor believes District 7 patients are a financial drain. He's argued for months we should close emergency services in low-income areas. When the board rejected it, he found another way. That's murder. Yes, Marcus agreed quietly. Silence settled between them. What happens now? Now I take this to the board, demand an investigation. They'll bury it, just like 8 months ago. Marcus turned, surprised. I read about the last investigation. Insufficient evidence. What makes this different? This time I have proof. You have data. Victor has board members who care about profit. You need more than spreadsheets. What do you suggest? You need voices, real people, stories that make this human. You want to go public. I want to make this impossible to ignore. Marcus weighed risks. If we go public before the board acts, it could jeopardize everything. If you wait, more people will die. Marcus walked to the window, struggling with the decision. I need 48 hours, he finally said, to secure the evidence. Can you give me that? On one condition. He turned. You let me help, not as a victim, as a partner. Marcus studied her. All right, partners. They shook hands, the same steady grip from the worst night of her life. What do you need me to do? Tell me everything about the night you were found. Sophia told him, the community center, the alley, the ice, her head hitting concrete, pulling out her phone with numb fingers, dialing 911, the operator saying help was coming, and waiting, and waiting. 23 minutes! Marcus listened, jaw tight. And when she finished, he showed her a recorded call. This is your 911 call. Listen to the timestamp. Her weak voice giving her location, the operator confirming, the promise, ambulance dispatched, ETA 4 minutes. Marcus pulled up another screen. This is the dispatch log, when the ambulance was actually sent. Her call, 11:47 p.m. Ambulance dispatched, 12:03 a.m., 16 minutes of nothing. This is what I can prove, Marcus said. Systematic delay. You're not the only one. Dozens of cases. Heat rose in Sophia's chest, not fear, fury. Then let's make sure everyone knows. Marcus nodded. 48 hours, then we go to war. Over 2 days, Marcus copied files to secure servers. Sophia reached out to District 7 residents who'd had emergency experiences. Not everyone wanted to talk. Some were too afraid, others too tired. But enough said yes. By the second evening, Sophia had 17 testimonials and fire in her chest. "It's time," Marcus said. They met at his office after hours. Marcus had called an emergency board meeting for morning. "Are you ready?" Marcus asked. "Are you?" Sophia countered. "I'm never more certain." "Not even surgery?" "Surgery is easy. It's just bodies and systems. This is choosing people over power. That's harder." Sophia understood what this cost him, his relationship with Victor, his control, his armor. "You don't have to do this alone." "I'm not alone," Marcus met her eyes. "You're here." The moment stretched, not romantic, but profound. Marcus's phone buzzed, his expression hardened. Victor knows. How? He's demanding to meet, now, before the board meeting. Sophia stood. "Then I'm coming." "Sophia! Partners, remember?" They took the elevator to Victor's corner office. The door was open. Victor sat behind his desk, the resemblance to Marcus undeniable but twisted. "Brother," Victor said without standing, "and you brought a guest." "Victor, this is Sophia Reed, the patient from District 7. Victor's eyes flicked to Sophia with disinterest. "I'm glad you recovered, though I'm unclear why you're here." "She's here because this concerns her," Marcus said, "like it concerns every person whose life you've gambled with." Victor sighed, walking to the window. "I assume you've found the dispatch modifications." The casual admission hung in the air. "You're not denying it," Sophia said, shocked. "Why would I? I did what was necessary. District 7 is a resource drain. Every ambulance, every uninsured patient, every dollar spent on care never reimbursed, it's not sustainable." "So you decided to let people die," Marcus said quietly. "I prioritized resources. District 7 has other hospitals. Options." "Options 40 minutes away," Sophia interjected. "Options requiring transportation they don't have." Victor looked at her with pity. "I understand this is personal, but emotion doesn't build hospitals. If we bankrupt ourselves saving everyone, we save no one." "That's cruelty disguised as pragmatism," Marcus said. "The board will see it my way. They already do. Why do you think the last investigation went nowhere?" "Then let them decide again tomorrow, with all the evidence, with Sophia's testimony." Victor's smile faded. "If you do this, you'll destroy everything we built. What you built, I'm just exposing it. You'll lose your position, your influence. I don't need their forgiveness. I need them to do what's right." Victor laughed bitterly. "When did you become so naive?" Marcus stepped closer. "Since I held the hand of a woman left to die because someone decided her life wasn't worth 4 minutes. Since I realized every decision I've made from safety has cost other people everything." He turned to Sophia. "She survived, Victor, and she's going to make sure everyone knows why she almost didn't." Victor's expression shifted. "You're making a mistake." "No, I'm correcting one." In the elevator, Sophia's hands shook. He admitted it. He thinks he's untouchable. Until now, he was right. And tomorrow? Marcus looked at her, vulnerable, determined, choosing courage despite the cost. "Tomorrow, we change that." The board meeting started at 9 sharp. Sophia sat in back, watching 12 people in expensive suits file in. Victor entered last, confident. Marcus stood at the head. What I'm about to show you cannot wait. For an hour, he presented everything: modifications, response times, patient outcomes, 17 testimonials, including Sophia's. When her voice filled the room, describing the cold, the fear, the 23 minutes, board members shifted uncomfortably. One woman pressed her hand to her mouth. Victor sat motionless. Someone with administrative access deliberately delayed response in District 7, Marcus concluded. Those delays resulted in 4 preventable deaths. I'm calling for immediate investigation and suspension of anyone responsible. Profound silence. Then Victor spoke. My brother is correct. I implemented them, and I do it again. The room erupted. Victor raised his hand. They quieted. District 7 cost us $11 million last year, $11 million in uncompensated care. Continue this rate, we close 2 facilities and lay off 400 staff. He looked at Marcus. I made a choice: save everyone and destroy the system, or prioritize sustainable operations. You can't calculate human lives like budget items, Marcus said. Someone has to. Board member Harrison leaned forward. Mr. Vale raises a point. How do you propose solving the resource problem? Marcus looked at Sophia. She stood, drawing every eye. You solve it by not building the problem, she said. Cross Medical made $200 million profit last year. Executive bonuses totaled $40 million. She walked forward, standing beside Marcus. You're not facing a resource problem. You're facing a priority problem. Profit over people for so long you've convinced yourselves it's the only way. Miss Reed, Victor started. I'm not finished. I almost died because someone decided my life wasn't worth the cost. But I'm here, and I'm asking, what are your lives worth, your children's? This system doesn't distinguish. Eventually, everyone's an acceptable loss. Silence. What do you want us to do? Harrison asked. Fire Victor Vale, restore emergency services immediately. Prove that when you call yourselves Cross Medical Group, you mean it. Care is collective responsibility, not profit calculation. She sat, heart racing. Marcus added quietly, I've prepared a restructuring proposal maintaining profitability while restoring services. Reduced executive compensation, deferred expansion, efficiency improvements, but sustainable. New slide. The choice isn't between saving District 7 and saving the company. It's between easy profit and ethical responsibility. The vote took 30 minutes. Victor Vale removed as CFO, 9-3. Emergency services restored effective immediately. Marcus asked to implement restructuring, full board support. When it was over, Sophia waited outside. An hour later, Marcus emerged, exhausted but lighter. It's done. How do you feel? Like I can breathe again. They walked to the elevator, neither ready to say goodbye. Sophia, Marcus said in the lobby, would you like dinner with me? Not as doctor and patient, just as 2 people who've been through something. Sophia smiled. I'd like that. Tomorrow? Tomorrow. As Sophia left, stepping into sunlight warmer than it had been in days, she realized something fundamental had shifted. She'd almost died, but she survived, and from survival came something unexpected, not just healing, but purpose. 3 months passed like turning seasons. Cross Medical underwent what the press called radical restructuring. What it was, institutions learning to value people over margins. Emergency response times in District 7 dropped to 4.2 minutes. Dispatch software rebuilt with independent oversight. Victor accepted a settlement and disappeared. Marcus remained chief medical officer, but changed. He still performed surgeries with precision, still reviewed systems analytically, but now he sat in community meetings, listening to patients. Now he asked questions before decisions. Sophia watched this transformation with quiet amazement. She'd taken a position with Cross Medical, not charity, but earned, patient advocate coordinator, building bridges between medical systems and communities, translating policies into human language, ensuring what happened to her never happened to anyone else. The work was exhausting and essential. She'd never felt more alive. She and Marcus saw each other regularly, work, weekly dinners. They talked about everything: his childhood, her shelter years, the weight of decisions, the cost of silence. They never rushed. The connection grew slowly, rooted in respect rather than rescue. One autumn evening, Marcus asked her to meet him at the hospital, not the main building, but the original emergency room where everything began. Sophia arrived to find the space transformed: new equipment, expanded bays, additional staff. On the wall, a plaque: "In memory of those we failed to save, and in commitment to those we still can." "We dedicated it last week," Marcus said, appearing beside her. "I wanted you to see it." Sophia read the names engraved below, 4 people who died during Victor's system. Her throat tightened. They deserved more. Yes, but this is what we can give now, a promise their deaths meant something. They stood in silence, honoring those names. "I've been thinking about that night, about the choice I made." Sophia turned. "I told you I wouldn't look, that I'd protect your dignity while saving your life, but I've realized something since." "What?" "The real choice wasn't whether to look away, it was whether to see you, really see you, as a person deserving both care and respect. I almost missed that, almost treated you like a problem to solve." "You did see me, though, when it mattered." "Because you demanded it. You refused to disappear, even at your most vulnerable. That took more courage than anything I did." "We both made choices that night. You chose responsibility, I chose trust, and somehow we ended up here." Marcus smiled, the real one. "Here is good. Here is very good." They walked through the emergency room. Staff greeted Marcus differently now, not with fear, but genuine warmth. Outside, the city hummed. They stood on the steps watching ambulances come and go, each arriving quickly. "I have something to ask," Marcus said. Sophia looked at him, curious. "The board approved funding for a community health center in District 7. Preventive care, mental health, addiction support, everything the community needs but doesn't have." He paused. "They want someone to run it, someone who understands both the system and the people." Understanding dawned. "You're offering me the position." "I'm asking if you'd consider it. No pressure, but this could change everything for District 7. Sophia's mind raced. Enormous responsibility, a challenge requiring every skill she'd learned, every connection built, every ounce of courage discovered. Terrifying. Perfect. "Yes, I'll do it." Marcus's relief was visible. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet. I'll demand funding, push back on obstacles, drive you insane." "I'm counting on it." They stood grinning, and something shifted. Recognition that what they'd built was more than professional respect, more than shared trauma. It was partnership in its truest form. "Sophia," Marcus said, voice softer, "I need to tell you something." She waited, heart beating faster. "When I met you, I was a man who'd forgotten how to feel beyond control. I'd convinced myself distance was strength, that caring meant weakness." He took a breath. "You showed me I was wrong, not by asking me to change, but by being so completely, courageously yourself that I had no choice but to see what I'd become." Tears pricked Sophia's eyes. I'm not good at this, at vulnerability, at letting someone in, but I want to try, with you, if you'll have me." "Sophia," said Marcus, stepping closer, "you saved my life, but more than that, you gave me space to reclaim it on my own terms. You could have made me feel small, grateful, indebted. Instead, you made me feel seen." She took his hands. "So yes, I'll have you, all of you, the brilliant surgeon, the stubborn executive, the man still learning how to be soft without breaking." Marcus pulled her close, and when they kissed, it felt like coming home to a place they'd been building all along. Around them, the hospital continued its endless work. Inside, patients fighting, families praying, doctors making impossible decisions. But here, on these steps, two people who'd met in the darkest moment were choosing light. Not the easy kind without cost, the hard kind requiring showing up every day, doing the work, fighting for what matters. 6 months later, the community health center opened to a line wrapping around the block. Sophia stood at the entrance, greeting everyone. The building was modest but welcoming. Bright walls, comfortable chairs, bilingual signage, staff reflecting the community. Marcus attended the ceremony but stayed in background, letting Sophia have the spotlight she'd earned. Afterward, he found her in her office, small, organized, window overlooking the same streets where she'd once fought for her life. "How does it feel?" "Like the beginning of something that should have existed all along. It wouldn't exist without you. Without both of us. You gave tools, I gave vision. That's partnership." Marcus sat on her desk, comfortable with casual intimacy now. "I have news. I've been offered a position on the National Hospital Ethics Board, developing standards for emergency response across the country." Sophia's eyes widened. "Marcus, that's incredible." "It means travel, time away." "And you're worried I'll be upset?" He smiled ruefully. "I'm worried I'll be upset. I've gotten used to seeing you every day." Sophia stood, moving between his knees. "Then we'll make it work, because this is bigger than us, and it only grows if we both keep growing." Marcus wrapped his arms around her waist. "When did you become so wise?" "When I stopped being afraid of taking up space." They stayed grounded in each other. "I love you," Marcus said quietly. "I don't say it enough, but I do. I know, you show me every day." Later, they walked through District 7 together, no longer billionaire and survivor, but two people integrated into the community they served. Shop owners waved. Children ran past laughing. An elderly woman thanked Sophia for helping her daughter get medication. This was victory, not dramatic, but real, sustainable, built on thousands of small choices to prioritize people over profit, dignity over efficiency, connection over control. At Sophia's apartment, Marcus paused. "Stay," Sophia said simply. He did. Inside, they made dinner together, Marcus chopping vegetables with surgical precision, while Sophia told him about patience, systems she was improving. "You're going to change everything," Marcus said, watching with admiration. "We're going to change everything, together." After dinner, they sat on her balcony, the city stretching before them in lights and possibility. "Do you ever think about that night?" Sophia asked. "Every day, but not with regret, with gratitude. For saving me? For meeting you, for being forced to choose between the man I was and the man I wanted to be." He took her hand. "You gave me that choice, Sophia. I will spend the rest of my life being worthy of it." Sophia leaned against him, feeling his steady heartbeat. "We saved each other, that's the truth. I survived because you refused to look away, and you started living because I refused to disappear." They sat in comfortable silence, Two people who'd learned that healing isn't returning to who you were before trauma, it's becoming someone new, someone who carries scars but isn't defined by them, someone who knows their worth and demands the world recognize it. The city hummed below, full of people who would need care tomorrow. But in District 7, ambulances now arrived in 4 minutes instead of 23. In District 7, a health center stood as proof some battles could be won. And in a small apartment overlooking streets that once meant danger, two people held each other and knew with certainty that what they'd built together, trust, respect, love, and systemic change, was worth every moment of the fight. This was the ending that mattered. Not perfect, but real. Not easy, but earned. Not a rescue, but a partnership. And it was, in every way that counted, a victory. If you've made it this far in the story, drop a comment below telling us what moment touched you most. Was it the beginning, the middle, or the ending? We'd love to hear from you, and your comments help us create more stories like this one. Thank you for being part of our community.